But yeah, so it was neat. Trying to get Dad to talk about bank robbing and things.
I'm tired, man. It's super raw. It's real. It's so real.
Bro, could you imagine if how many people here are vlogging?
Every damn day, baby.
Let's go. Yeah, baby. Could you imagine if we were lucky enough that vlogging has been around for 50 years and we could have seen all the people that we think are incredible just see their process of coming up the game? More importantly, back to every damn day, my man, whether you make it or you don't, the fact that your great-great-grandkids are gonna be able to watch that film is unbelievable. I didn't get to know either one of my grandfathers. They both died, right? Before I got to know them. Like, you know how cool it would be to have all that film on them? So you might be thinking about vlogging as like narcissistic and somebody's being a charlatan. You're fucking short-sighted. If you're not vlogging, you're taking something very special away from your future family.
Cheers, man. Appreciate it.
Tampa, thank you so much. Come on, let's go.
Right here, Derek.
Can you take a picture of me, Gary?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right here.
Leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again.
No, you're in the right church, but the wrong pew. My father got.
Which one do you want, the white one or the black?
Let me see the white one. That's gonna change my whole. I never wore a hat my entire life since I was born in this world. I never had a hat. I don't even know how to put a hat on. Is this the front?
Yep. Nope, that's the back.
Oh, it goes to show you. This is the front now.
Like that.
Oh.
It has a tag.
I'm sorry, like that.
Are you nuts? Let me see how it looks.
Actually, let me see the white one, and you take the brown one.
Oh, Lord.
Nope, other way.
Oh, it's backwards again.
Let me see.
The
No, you had it correct.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Joseph Bank. That's where I get my clothes from when I had money.
Well, you put it to the side. Don't put it to the side.
Get out of here.
Let me see. Let me see.
I
Yeah,
am not wearing. Are you insane?
right there. Look in the mirror.
Get out of here. I look like somebody.
Looks great.
It does not look great.
How do I look?
You're cool. I never wore a hat. And some people can't wear hats. I can't wear a hat. I look like. What the hell?
What do you look like? Don't do that. What do
Wait,
you look
worried
like?
about me bending your hat?
Yeah. What do you think
Oh,
you
good.
look like?
Bend it up. I don't know. Somebody else. I'm sitting over there. Okay.
Don't turn it to the side, please.
All right.
Please stop doing that. It's like this is what you look like.
Well, that's cool.
Like you
No,
think this
it's
is
not.
like a cool cat?
All right. So is it all right
Hey,
now?
you driving me?
I mean, it's a little crooked still, but
Oh, wait. Straight like that?
it's fine. Protect your face.
So where was I? So my dad got fired 3 days before Christmas, and he didn't have the money. And let me explain about my dad getting fired. They fired him because he was making too much money, and they got somebody to do it less. So anyway, he bought me a doll, pink and blue doll. Half of it was pink and
You
it
told me
blinked.
it was a yo-yo.
Yeah, it was a doll. I might have lied to you about that. It was a
Why
doll
would he buy you a doll?
because that's. Hey,
You
no,
you sure?
it was half of it was blue.
Half of you is pink.
No. He bought me a doll. I don't know what was the reason he bought me a doll.
I'm
and I
pretty
put
sure it was a yo-yo. I think you're not remembering correctly.
it was a doll. Anyway.
I would rather say it was a yo-yo.
Oh yeah, because of situations, and it was a doll. I'm cool in the gang. I be knocking people out, so ain't nothing.
Not in that hat.
Well, anyway.
You have no idea where you're at in a story right now.
What kind of hat is this? So
You don't care. You don't feel any cooler or anything.
no, I'm cool. I was born cool. What are you talking about? So I'm gonna tell you a story about how the name got to be Lucky, because the 99,000 people called me Lucky. So what happened was that my friends was riding bicycles, and that kind of business, and they said, "Oh, you're so lucky," and that's how Lucky caught on. And some people knew me for 20 years and never knew my name wasn't Ron. They thought it was Lucky.
So,
Yes.
did I ever tell you that I want to write a book?
No.
Yeah.
Really? What's the name of it? I don't want to be Lucky's son.
No.
I'm happy that I'm Lucky's son. Lucky's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But first of all, let me tell you. I tell you what you don't know. My granddaughters, John's children, did you know one of them was named Lucky in the middle name? Yeah,
Which one?
Jessica.
Yeah, you're not sure.
No, Jessica, her middle name is Lucky. When you talk to your brother today, ask him. Or it could be Alexis. No, it was Jessica. But I thought it was a cool thing for the father, his name is the father.
So for years, I've known that I wanted to write a book,
Okay.
and I've been torn. I've gone back and forth on it's something whether I actually want to do, whether I think it's something that I should do or want to do.
No, you need to do that.
I don't know if I need to.
No, you need to.
I don't know if I need to.
I gotta tell you why you need to.
Okay, tell me
the
why
reason
I
why
need
we're
to.
sitting right here, what happens is, you getting a suntan?
A little bit.
Oh, you're gonna get like me?
Hopefully not.
You hear it? So anyway, it's important that your children should know, you're gonna keep this. I mean, I'm probably gonna last for another 200 years, but in the event that doesn't happen, me and God is cool. That's why I'm saying that. But what I'm sharing with you is that when the 200 years are up or whatever, he decides to take me away, you have this tape and do it and show your children and maybe even the grandchildren, say, yo, the little pops over there, it's cool in the gang. So.
For what reason? Why does anybody get to live the life that they live? And when I say that, it sounds like I'm implying this great good life. It's not. I'm trying to imply great good life. I mean, I could have been born anywhere. I could have been born of any background. I could have been born of any pedigree, right? Whether it's a high pedigree or a very low pedigree. To think in such a place that we led such a life where it's you can't plan it. You just can't plan it.
So you seen Eric?
Yeah, his brother just went to the graveyard.
Okay.
Justin's grave.
Okay.
So, John, I have a question for you. What is your favorite or most memorable memory of
You can't ask that question. I got a ton of those.
Dad
Oh.
and of yourself as a young man?
Really, that most memorable would be when I moved to Atlanta, Greenbrier, and stuff like that. And also when that summer when I came up, and we had the little Capri.
I remember that. We slept in the Capri.
Yeah, we did.
We slept in
the Capri.
And you know how small a Capri is?
Oh, I got a picture of it.
Do you?
Of course.
Of the Capri?
Of the Capri.
The original?
The original Capri.
You do that.
Yes, I do. I'll show it to you right here. I'm real good with pictures.
40 years.
Yeah.
How long did you live in Atlanta? I didn't know you lived in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's what happened. You asked the right question.
Yeah.
This should not be on tape.
That's true.
That's why it's being
It's gonna be.
That's very true.
They took the goalie out. Yeah, no, I do. I want to know what robbery you did that you were running away from. That's why.
Which phone was that? That was 30.
Which bank did you rob and almost get caught and you had to run away?
Got off the plane, and all I could see was these black people riding around in Seville's and Jaguars, and because Atlanta's even today it's about 70% black.
Yeah, it is.
But they were doing super good.
On that scale,
Yeah. So then what I did was,
Yeah, there's some stories there.
so
No question.
so.
The tape? No.
No,
I want to save her.
that's funny. So, so a mother bought was it random cat? She bought it on Monday. This happened on Tuesday, and I stole her mother's car to get out of town. And shoot the guy, and he's things against the wall, his whole shoulder, and all that. So I left and went to New York. And I asked her if she wanted to go with me. She thought I was a crazy man. She said, I'm not going with you. We're married. Say it again.
Bob, you were a crazy man?
So, you know, that's the way he said he's going to save her.
Yeah.
So, and I went to New York and I sold one of those cars on the hot car market, you know, but my mother called me and I said, here's what you do. You,
So I've known for a little while that I want to write a book,
okay.
and the name of the book would be "To Think in Such a Place We Led Such a Life."
That's a long title.
To think in such a place we led such a life.
You want to give me a little,
Context?
yeah.
So, there's a few books out there that I've read that I've been inspired by that, of how they're laid out. And they're basically a collection of individual
Events.
stories.
Okay.
And the phrase comes up, it's, I believe, by an unknown author, an unknown person that said the quote. And around this time of year, around May, graduation, if you were to drive around Miami and drive around campus, you would see like blankets or big posters in front of people's houses that say, "To think in such a place we led such a life." It comes from Miami University in Oxford.
Okay.
That's where I picked it up at.
Okay. This whole picture wouldn't even be taking place.
Right. And that's the "To think in such a place we led such a life," where we thought we were in control of so many decisions, and we weren't.
We weren't. That's that really.
We thought we were in charge of directing our own steps, and we weren't.
And I've thought that all my
And
life.
here's
and
our
I'm dead wrong.
perception of it the whole time, and it's like, man, like, I mean, think about that, the name of that title in perspective of just your own life. To think in such a place you led such a life. Like, what? How does that happen? Why you? Why do you get to say that you led the life that you led? And so you walk away with like, man, like, to think in such a place, like, we led such a life, like, bad things, good things, crazy stories, sad stories, tears, blood, sweat, all those kinds of things. And I just love the phrase. It inspired me around that time, and I think it really captures what my heart for the book would be, which is to think in such a place, which is this world, that we led such a life. A lot of people feel a lot of different ways about this place called Earth. A lot of people feel a lot of different ways about this thing called life. Some of us think that it's this magnificent thing. Some people think that it's this terrible thing. And my judgment on whether they're right or wrong isn't necessarily the point of the book or the point of my saying that. I just think it all culminates to something very beautiful. And really the underlying theme of the whole book, To Think in Such a Place That We Led Such a Life, is that there's such a disparity between reality and perception. That would be the underlying theme of the book, that to think in such a place where, you know, you might be living in a very modern first world country like America, you might be living in some very developing, obscure, can barely pronounce the name of the country kind of place, where certain basic utilities like water are hard to come by, electricity is hard to come by, and we have all such a different perception. And then there's this truth. There's this overlaying truth that kind of surrounds the whole thing, that is this perception. And truth, you know, is a funny thing. And there's this verse in the Bible that says, "Let God be true and every man a liar." Which, if I had to put a verse to the book, it would kind of be that. Is these perceptions, which in one sense are all a lie, and let every man be a liar and let God be true, right? Let his overarching reality be the most true thing that is prevalent to us. And for me, my personal scheme, so to speak, on the book would be that I led life up to a certain point with a completely different perspective than I do now. And then the change in that perspective, which was from, like, in my opinion, my scheme on it is that I led life in this completely different way, and then completely changed as in terms of transformation, and to think in such a place that I led such a life that I had these stories to tell, and yet here's the truth actually to it. So the whole book would be basically a collection of events in first perspective, and then a like a flashback perspective. So to think in such a place that I led such a life, and here's what was happening, but then here's what actually happened.
Every step that I say, I always say these words: coming over here, God willing. I'll see you in a few minutes, God willing. Because God, this is something you might want to put in a book. When people make plans, God laughs.
Well, that's my quote.
Does it?
Yeah.
I thought I got it from. I got it from you.
You got that from me. Do you remember that you thought that you made up the golden rule?
Yeah, that's right.
You didn't make up the golden rule.
No, people say the golden rule. What's the people say the golden rule?
He has the gold makes rules?
No, that was my thing.
Okay.
That's right.
The golden rule is like treat others the way that you want to be treated.
Is that what it is? Well, I like mine better. Mine says, I forgot what it says already.
Those who have the gold rule.
That's right. Thank you, honey. That's right.
You know, they get to. There are certain people, we get to live the lives that we do. And we get to make the most of it. We've been handed, you know, a deck of cards, so to speak. We all start at different places, right? We all start with a different hand, right? And you know, we have the opportunity to make the most of our hand. To think in such a place we led such a life. That's all.
It's a good it's a good title. I wondered at first, but I see it makes sense. You know, it does.
So the last few questions here, we can kind of wrap up. You're starting to sweat through your shirt a little bit. Is if you had one piece of advice, one word of wisdom for me, for a grandchild that you haven't met yet, and for a past you. A past you, 20-year-old Ron. So a past, a current, and a future. A 20-year-old you, a current me, and a future grandchild you haven't met.
Okay.
What would be your individual words of wisdom for each?
Rudyard Kipling said, "Youth is wasted on the young." Hold on. So that would be one of the things in the past. For my future grandchild, don't know the gender, would be yourself. I want to add something to that. Be yourself at all times. People try to emulate other people. You brought up LeBron James. Be yourself.
It's a great one. It implies a lot, because if you actually do it, it's big.
And the future,
No, that is the future.
Yeah,
for
'cause you
yourself.
can't-
Me.
yeah.
Now you have to do me.
Okay. That takes a little thought. When I say a little thought, I'll do the regular, the plastic things that people say. That I'll try to add something to it. The plastic things that people say is, be kind to your wife. Be observant about your God, your Creator, because without Him, I found out that I hear people say, "Oh, I found God." Where was He lost? What do you mean you found Him?
He found you.
That's the answer, really. That's the answer. There's no such thing as I found God. I spoke to Marianne the other day without you knowing about it. I talk to her all the time, and she said, "You know what? This is a quote. Joe, which I've never called you Joe. She said Joe would make a great father." There's more into those words because, and when Marianne said Joe would make a great father, and I agree. I agree on two stages. One, because I'm a great father, and two is because you have the makings. And when I say the makings, you had a great mom. She was every step of the way. She was a good mother. Now I shouldn't say was. She is. She's not passed away. And you have a. So you would make a great father. Cause
So, what one piece of advice would you give me as a dad?
Here it is in a nutshell. As much as you love your children, let them love you just as much. If that doesn't happen, but the children don't love their father just as much, that's the advice. Whether it's good or bad, that's my advice. Let your children love you.